This is Agent Provocateur with Allan Walsh and Adam Wylde.
Welcome to another episode of Agent Provocateur. Adam Wylde, how are you doing?
Allan, I'm pumped because I feel like you're bringing out the big guns for season 5 of AP here. It's the name that we are bringing on the show. Everybody that's tuned in already kind of knows that he's going to be here. Marc-André Fleury, what an experience it's been for you guys the last week.
It really has. It was like no one could ever imagine seeing Flower again in a Penguins jersey playing in a game for the Pittsburgh Penguins in 2025. And really the entire weekend was surreal. I went into Pittsburgh. I went with Flower on Friday to practice and spent the better part of the day with him and his son, James, who's 6 years old. And Jamesy and I hung out during practice along the glass and watched everything unfold and spent a lot of time with Flower in the dressing room, hanging out with him in the lunchroom with all the players around, and really for Mark's son to experience all of that in Pittsburgh. You know, he was born in Vegas. To have that experience and exposure to Pittsburgh was really, really wonderful.
That pop from the crowd, we'll talk to Mark about it, but I just want to know, you're in the crowd for that moment when he gets out on the ice. What did that feel like?
I had chills. It really felt like the last 8 years just disappeared, and it almost felt like seeing the four guys together on the blue line national anthem when the game was over, having everyone else sort of give them space and having the four guys together in the crease in a group hug. There was a lot of emotion there. A couple of the players said to me after the game, they were exhausted. And it wasn't from the game. It was from the emotions. I mean, guys experienced incredible highs, incredible. 1 minute you're looking at him and you have this overwhelming feeling of joy and happiness seeing him there. But then the next minute you're like, oh, this is the last time. And you go down. And guys were fighting back tears, and it was really like one of the most manic up and down evenings I've ever experienced.
I can't. It must have been kind of crazy, and I know we'll talk about this, but like this is a guy you've known since you were 15. When your guys retire, and we've had a few of them on, when your guys retire, Allan. It must be a little bit like there must be a bit of a mourning period. Do you feel that, or did this help, or how did it bring feelings back up? I'm just curious about that for you.
Well, for the guys that retire, the relationship endures, but it's different because you're not in the natural rhythm of off season, in season, highs and lows during the season, off season again. Is it a contract year? Is it not a contract year? Preparations for a contract. The meat and potatoes aspect of the agent player relationship. So the relationship certainly becomes a different kind of relationship. But the love, the closeness, the friendship aspect to the relationship endures. Mm-hmm. You always miss that.
Yeah.
Right? You always miss that. But it's so gratifying to be part of the next step in a player's life. When you are close with a player when they're 15, 16, 17 years of age, and you're sitting next to them when they're drafted into the NHL, and then you're at their first NHL game, and you go through an entire lifetime of a career together, and then you're at their last NHL game. I think I've been at 4 or 5 of Mark's last games in the last few months. I was at his last home start in Minnesota, last game in Minnesota, which was a playoff game, last start for Team Canada in Sweden, which was his last game, and then being in Pittsburgh. I mean, let's have a few more last games, right? They're so much fun. But at the end of the day, every single career for every professional athlete has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And then to see players when they go into retirement, become broadcasters and analysts. And first person who comes to mind is Mike Rupp. And in Quebec, Bruno Gervais has carved out a wonderful career in front of the camera and is doing a lot of different things on the business side and enjoying great success. And then certain other guys, they get completely away from the game and they don't want to be involved. For whatever reason, they're not interested in scouting or coaching or going on TV. They pursue other interests. Yeah. And to be with players in retirement as they're pursuing other interests, whether it's business, whether it's charitable, I just always find that fascinating and enjoyable as well. Yeah. So, life is about change. Life is about every day, a new day, every, life event, which comes to an end, a new door opens for players and for anybody in life who goes through transition. And you're just constantly in that transition at the same time that we're celebrating Flowers' last game in Pittsburgh, is players playing their first ever preseason game in the NHL, who are, drafted in the first round, second round, and first camp or second camp, and they're playing NHL games in preseason. They're making NHL rosters. They're going to play first NHL games in a week. So you're constantly involved in that cycle of renewal.
Mm-hmm. Well, man, this one's a particularly big one. It's a particularly special one, Allan, and I'm excited to talk to him. Should we bring him on?
Let's bring on Flower. How's it going, Mark?
Very good. Yourself?
God, I haven't seen you in 3 days.
I know, time flies, eh?
It flies by.
Yeah.
I know you missed me. And for those of you who don't know, Flower called me and he said, I have a burning desire to come on Agent Provocateur, to come on your podcast and really want to talk about the weekend in Pittsburgh. So thank you for the request. I had to move things around.
Yeah, we had to say sorry, Wayne Gretzky, you can't be on today. But
exactly.
Thanks for making the time, guys.
We bumped some people, and here you are. So how's it going?
Yeah, very good. So happy, you make this work. I love talking to the podcast and stuff.
Anything for you. Anything for you.
Thank you.
So how's retirement going so far?
I don't know. It's okay. It's like depends on the days, I guess. But I didn't get retired for too long. I got to play last weekend, so that was pretty cool.
So what's a typical day like in Flower World right now?
Probably drop the kids off in the morning at school, and then they're home by 3:30 or so, and then I think when they get home, it's mostly about them, the whatever sports they got going on, and try to drive them there here and there, quick dinner, homework and stuff. But during the day, I feel like the first few days I was kind of pacing around the house, not knowing what to do, what to do really. So I tried a bunch of things. I went mountain biking. I tried a Pilates class. I went to work out a couple times. Yeah. So I went. I didn't tell you, Allan. I went race car driving it last night too, which was
No.
which was pretty awesome. Yeah.
Where'd you do that?
It's like an hour 15 from my house, and then his name is Clayton, and he's a friend of Nick Bustad that I played with in Minnesota. And since I'm a kid, I always love the dirt track racing, on the ovals. My dad used to take me there and stuff, and I still go once in a while. And so I got to drive a car last night, so that was awesome.
Was it the funny cars with the big wing on top, or was it
no?
just
These ones are it's like same track, right? But those ones are like they're real fast. Like they're the fastest one on dirt. So I didn't go that one. Maybe a few levels down,
So what kind of car was it?
It's a B mod. That's what it's called. It's just I know it's pretty popular around Minnesota. So it's like the modified engine, but not. So there's A mod who's faster, and then the B mod's the one I had. Yeah.
And how fast can you go?
I don't know. I'm just step on the gas and seal for the best. But I didn't hit any walls or nothing, so I was happy. I wasn't that fast though. I think I need a lot more practice if I want to. I don't know, do okay. But it was so fun though.
You love speed and you love being a daredevil.
So I feel like getting older, I'm a little bit more of a chicken, I would think, than I used to when I was younger. but I do. I love that's one thing to being home, right? I miss the emotions, the adrenaline that you get from the competition, right? That you get from hockey, and so I've been, I don't know, trying different things, and so it was one of those things. I went go karting with Gus and Eric Sinek to one day in Minnesota, which was pretty cool too.
Who won?
So one day in the summer, several years ago, Flower calls me and he says, "Hey, I'm going to go. I want to try skydiving," and it actually is written into the fine print of the standard player contract in the NHL that skydiving is one of the prohibited activities.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So I gave Flower a whole speech about how, you can't go skydiving. You're violating your contract. God forbid, you get injured in any way. Your contract can be terminated. You won't get paid and all that. And he's like, oh, okay. Yeah, I won't do it. I won't do it. And then a couple of days later, Flower sends me a photo. He's airborne. His hair's going straight up in the air. He's out of a plane. and I'm like, oh, shit.
It was so good. So fun. Yes. Yeah.
I've done it too. I love it. I loved it.
Yeah.
So, Mark, I got to ask, in terms of like Daredevil stuff, is that the only thing that you've done, or are you regularly driving fast cars, or what's the go-karts, that sort of thing? What's your thing?
Yeah, I don't know. I always loved cars since I'm a kid, so I think that maybe I've driven a little bit too fast sometimes, which I shouldn't,
Yeah.
Sorry. But I don't know. I always love cars, and so yesterday was definitely something pretty cool.
Formula One fan? Did you go to the F1 Montreal, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I did. I did a few times. Yeah, I've been there. I've had one time. I've had like a racing lesson too. I had one in Vegas and one in Mont Tremblant in Quebec. So those were pretty sweet too.
That must have been great. Yeah. You should bring Allan with you next time. I'd love to see as a co-passenger in that.
I'll crash. I'll crash. We actually, it was probably early 2000s. The NHL All-Star Game was in Dallas. And the NHL did a cross promotion with NASCAR at the Texas Motor Speedway. So they, and Octagon was involved in it. So they got Martin Havlat, Marian Hossa, Matt Carl from San Jose, Jonathan Chichu from San Jose. And we went up onto the roof of our hotel and got picked up in a military helicopter. And it's like one of those things you see with the doors wide open, and we're strapped into the helicopter, and we go to the Texas Motor Speedway about 30-40 minutes, and we land in the infield, and they had all these NASCARs lined up. They give us a 30-minute tutorial on how to drive them. They put us in a white van and drive around the track, telling us what speeds we have to be at when we go into the turns to not like hit the wall and not wipe out. And after getting this tutorial, we go into the NASCARs and we drive around for about 30 minutes. Wow. And it was crazy. I think they called the NASCAR experience. You can do it, but they filmed the whole thing and they made it into a video that they released. And it exists somewhere on YouTube. If anybody ever wanted to go find it, all of us driving around an empty Texas Motor Speedway that had a couple of fire engines, with firefighters inside them with the sirens on, sitting on the side of the track. They had a guy up in the booth waving a checkered flag, and off we went. It was a lot of fun.
Oh,
yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, Flower, you got to do that one day.
Yeah, I think that'd be so good, man. That's good times. Do you remember if you're on camera too? Like, do you have your face in the helmet and stuff, and they see you riding around?
Yeah. We put on blue fire suits.
Yeah,
and we all got fitted for helmets, and then we all went out to the cars.
Good.
I'm gonna find that video and send it to you from NHL players at the Texas Motor Speedway.
Nice.
Cool. That'd be very cool.
You can pick off my bald head anywhere, putting the helmet on and going into getting lowered into the car. Yeah.
So,
awesome.
Flower, am I allowed to ask how the hip's feeling? I know that you said after the game in Pittsburgh that it was bugging you.
Yeah. Well, like I didn't help myself. I didn't skate all summer and stuff, and then in those couple of days in Pittsburgh, I had practice the day before the game and then morning skate, and I both practice. I tried to stay out there as long as possible, and probably didn't help my case, so I took some Advil before the game, limping out of there, but it's a little better. I played tennis today too a little bit, and I don't know, it's just been worn over the years, but I'll try to get that fixed too in the next little while here.
Yeah. So at practice on Friday, it really was a surreal moment. You walk into the dressing room at the practice rink, and there's your stall, right? Where you used to sit with your nameplate there, all the, the blockers, the pads and everything. I can tell you from my perspective, I walked in with you and we walked in together, and we walked into the dressing room, and I looked at the stall, and it kind of took my breath away for that first second. And I commented, somebody asked me, I had said at the time, it felt like we were in a 8-year fever dream and just woke up. And there it is. Like the last 8 years didn't happen, and there you are. How did that moment feel for you?
Yeah, I think you're right. Just to come in and have my yellow pads in there, right? And I don't know. It just time goes by so quick. It's crazy, right? And then you walk back in, and it's like it's like old days, like nothing. There hasn't been any time missed in Pittsburgh, and just even though like seeing people, the staff or players, right, and but just to walk into the locker room was just normal, So it's just my seat, right, to go change and go right back where I used to be.
Now, you had said during the weekend that you've been back to Pittsburgh several times, but you were always with the visiting team. And
Yeah.
here you were, and it always felt weird for you. I know that that date was always circled on the calendar when you're going back to Pittsburgh. Sometimes you played, sometimes you didn't, but it was always you're there on the visiting side, and that's like the wrong side, from what you were used to. And
Yeah.
here you were this time as a Pittsburgh Penguin.
Yeah, it was.
Did you ever think you'd have that opportunity to do that again at this stage of your life?
No, definitely not. Right. Like I said, I was done. Right. I was retired. Didn't skate. Didn't do anything all summer. And then, I think for Cal Dubas to reach out and ask, I was a little surprised at first and a little worried too because I didn't want to look too dumb. Give up 5 goals in the period or something, or take some kid's spot. Right. So we had a good conversation, and yeah, I'm so thankful for it. Such a great opportunity, and just to go back and, like you said, back in time, and do it one more time with the guys. That was a lot of fun.
So when you were going out for the start of the game, there's a area. It's a suite 66, where you and your family and invited guests are. It's right across from the dressing room. There's always a routine that goes on between players as they're waiting to go out on the ice to start a game. And players are tapping and blocker tap and pads, and it's a routine. Did you fall back into that old routine?
Yeah, I think it was. I think we were on. The last three is always G, Sid, and then Tanger. So I just went in front of him, give Tanger a little pump, and Sid, you don't touch. He doesn't touch a goalie. He's never. He never wants to touch a goalie before games. Or sometimes if you notice too, when they score goals and they come to the bench, right, and then they give high five to everybody, he never gives it to the goalie. But yeah, that one day I got one though, so it's like just special for today. But otherwise, you never. I don't know. You never touch him, And yeah, so it was the same as usual, and right back on the ice.
I got to ask, have you must have seen the pictures afterwards of the lineups outside PPG Paints, and it's a and no disrespect to the Columbus Blue Jackets, but it's a preseason game against the Columbus Blue Jackets,
Yeah.
and to have the lines and the crowds and the pop when you got on the ice from people. Has any of that, I know you hate questions like this, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Does any of that set in at the time, or are you just kind of focused going towards the net? No, I'm not going to let in 5 goals. We're going to make it.
Yeah, I didn't want to let in 5 goals. That's for sure. I wanted to be okay, but yeah. But also I wanted to take it into, just to. I don't know, just to stand there, look around a bit, keep that picture in my mind, right, of the fans, on their feet and stuff like that, and cheering my name and stuff. It's such a unbelievable moment, right? I still get goosebumps, thinking about it, and to feel like such a love and appreciation, right, from the fans, and they really made that night very special, and I was real happy that my kids were there. Right, my girls were born in Pittsburgh, but we left when they were pretty young, and my son doesn't remember too much, I think, of my hockey career. So it was important for me to show them how good the people of Pittsburgh are, to me and my wife, and the family.
Allan, we've been working together since you were 15, and you're going to be 41 soon, in December. Don't think I don't know that. You're going to be 41. But for me, sitting in the stands and watching your family, seeing Vero, your wife, and the kids on the glass, seeing you skate out into the net for the third period, and to think of all the years in Pitt and for them to actually get to experience that moment was one of the most special. I was watching them watching you. I was watching them watching you.
Yeah.
And your kids had a blast the
Yeah.
entire game. They were playing air guitar. They were jumping up and down. For the first two periods, you're really sitting right next to them when you're on the bench, and they were on the glass right next to you. But then when you went in, I was just focused on them and seeing the look of happiness and joy and a little bit of wonder at the crowd's reaction was really something that I'll took it and never forget.
Yeah, yeah. It was I don't know, such an insane night, like you mentioned, and the same too. During the game or while I was on the bench, I would just watch them too, once in a while to see what they were doing up there. But you're right, they had such a fun night, dancing around. But yeah, I'm so happy I got the chance, the opportunity to share that love with them too, right? And they're on the ice at the end too, and it was loud in there. It was like a playoff game atmosphere sometimes. On a dump in, I would just stop in a dump in and they would cheer. I was like, "Jeez, that's not much." I didn't do nothing, but yeah, always. I don't know. I'm very thankful for that night.
I got to ask, guys, just as from a fan perspective, because, I'm so disconnected from all this. How does this even come together? Like, Flower, you mentioned that Kyle called you. Allan, does Kyle call you first and go, "Can I reach out to Marc-André?" Or like, because this is a really, really unique idea. And I hope it's something that other teams copy afterwards because it was so special. What was the what was the process in putting this together?
So this was totally unprecedented. And it's never been done before in any sport. And a lot of people were calling me and saying, "Allan, great job in what a great idea you had." I was like, whoa. This was all Kyle Dubas. He called me, and first it was, I want to do some. We Pittsburgh Penguins want to do something special with Mark, and it started off with, bringing him back during a preseason game. And I would like to call Mark and talk to him about it. And sure. And then a couple of weeks later, Kyle called again. And this time he said, "Hey, like we were just talking in the office here. And the fact that Mark went to World Championships and played for Team Canada in May in Sweden, wouldn't it be amazing if he played in a preseason game?" And it wasn't a period or half a game, or it was played in a preseason game. And from there, Kyle and Mark talked together, and you could take it from there.
Yeah. At first I was a little bit maybe taken, what's the saying, by surprise a bit. Yeah. I was like, like I've never heard or seen this happen. And yeah, but then he said, so that was at the beginning of summer. And then he said, "Oh, don't worry about it. Think about it. We'll talk later on, before camp starts." And then we did. And by the time I was in Minnesota and I had time to get real bored, I was like, I need no challenge here, So not just that, but yeah, at first I was a little, I don't know, reluctant because, like I said, I didn't train anything. I didn't want to look bad. I didn't want to. And the other thing too, I feel like I've had like 17 goodbyes last season. Like too much attention, too many times. Like waving the hand and stuff. And I feel like, I don't know, I've seen myself enough on the news. But but then I'm so happy. I talked to Max Talbot a little bit before too, and he's like, "Yeah, don't worry about all that. Just go play with the boys. Have a good time." And um, so I think he kind of pushed me in the right direction, and I'm so happy I did go. Got to play with the guys, and have a lot of fun. And in practice, mostly I love practicing with them, and it's just been hanging around the locker room too, right? And having breakfast or lunch, and but then also the welcome or the goodbyes, from the fans was once again electric.
I have to say, guys, one of the things I'll give Kyle Dubas a ton of credit for, and I'm Marc-Andre, I'm a Leafs fan, just so you know. So I've plenty of experience watching Kyle Dubas do.
You're going to be shocked to hear that.
But you know what? He was always really good at here in Toronto, and obviously in this is I don't think he ever forgot what it was like to be a fan. And I have to credit the two of you, Allan and Marc-Andre, for embracing this idea as well, because I feel like at your level, you can lose a little bit of that. It becomes a business. It becomes something that, hey, this is my job. I get paid to do this, that sort of thing. And it's not that you lose the love of it, but you almost forget what it was like to be 8 or 9 years old and love a player and have their posters on your wall and make scrapbooks of Ken Dryden like Allan did. You know what I mean? Like that. Yeah. You two and Kyle deserve a ton of credit for that, because I don't think you've forgotten that. And it is, even in the media, there's a ton of reporters out there who will claim they're not fans of teams. I don't believe them. But that's something I think that you can never really lose. And I think you brought to what's otherwise a pretty boring preseason usually. You brought like a moment, an exciting moment that the NHL could focus on. And as much as Marc-Andre, you probably don't love a more attention like that, it was very special. I hope you guys understand that.
I don't know. It definitely felt like it. Like you said, it was only preseason, but sometimes it's just I don't know. I'm like that a little bit, but I love remembering those good memories, and it was such turn back in time, just like when Mike Tyson boxed, right? Like a couple months maybe ago, but not that I compare myself to him, but just to me, I love boxing too, and it was such a nostalgia, right, of seeing him on the ring again and stuff like that, and so I think there might have been a little bit of that, right? A little nostalgia of, I don't know, for me to put the Penguins jersey on and play in practice with the guys, that I did for many years, right? So.
It was good for the rest of us too. It was nostalgic for the rest of us too.
Good, awesome.
Yeah, very, very special.
I got to tell you, you looked good out there in practice. All right, you made that one sliding pad stack save on Sid, and a couple others that flashed the glove. You think you could go out there and play right now?
This guy.
Oh,
there's not a day. There's not a day Allan doesn't ask.
Bill Garrett put on any phone calls or anything like that? He's handing out big contracts these days. So
yeah, maybe that's why, right? Oh boy! But I had a little help though. I said I didn't skate, but then when I got to Minnesota, they were great to me too. And I asked hey, can I get on the ice a little bit? And there's always a group of injured guys, maybe 3 or 4 guys, right? So I could go on with them. I went on 4 or 5 times with these guys, early in the morning before camp would start, and that kind of helped, getting the wheels turning a bit. But I think as far as playing or practicing, I think a day or two it's doable. But I think what I found hard is the consistency of doing it every day, trying to keep up with the schedule, with the young guys, with the ups and downs there. When your hip's sore, then you don't have 4 days at home to recover, you're always back on the ice and stuff. So I think that's the grind of it. I think that's what gets tiring and harder and tougher on the body, and that's a big reason why last season I said it was going to be it, because the mornings were painful, and it just take out the fun of the game some days.
I have to ask, with Sid and Gino and Chris Letang, you know, those guys still being there, you guys all coming up together. Are there routines the same way that you remember it? You mentioned Sid not, you know, high-fiving a goalie or touching anybody before the game. Did it feel a little bit like, hey, yeah, we're in our late 20s again? Or was it really different?
Sid's not changing. He's got his routine dialed in. It's the same all the time at the rink, away from the rink. But and then come game time, and then me and Tanger end up in the shower at the same time, and we use the same shower like we used to back then. You know, didn't mention anything, but we still, both of us still do the same little stretch in the shower before. So it was funny to I don't know, just end up in the right same spot again as we did before. And I don't think they're as superstitious maybe as Sid are. Gino's not bad. He's pretty easygoing. He doesn't overthink too much, I think. So yeah. So it wasn't too bad with him.
Except when he came charging into the dressing room on Friday, the day of the practice. Flower, it's a $200,000 car.
Okay, you guys have got to talk about this.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, poor Gino. Sorry. It comes off. He'll be fine.
Are they still on, or did they take it off?
I don't know. I didn't ask if they were keeping it for style or probably not Gino. His car's nicer without it. I don't know. Like so many people ask what I was gonna do for pranks and stuff, and I don't know. When I got there like a little bit later in the day, and then got dinner, and then next day I went to the rink early with James, my son, and Allan, and I left the rink. It was like 5 o'clock at night. So I was planning on maybe going shopping and buy some stupid stuff and try to fool with them. But then and my mom and sister came in on that Friday, so I went for dinner with them, you know, and I just didn't have much time. And then but in that week I checked out a place. It was called Tint World in Cranberry, close to the practice rink, and I asked him if they wouldn't mind, you know, just showing up the rink, put a few stickers on the guys' cars, and they didn't, you know, it was very, very kind of them. Good help.
There was a little bit more logistical planning behind the scenes than just that. But
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's not just the 29 on the doors on both sides, but there were racing stripes down the front of the hood, and of course the flower decal, just in case anybody had any doubt as to what was going on here.
Yeah, I just want to make sure they look good, or they keep some memory, you know. Like when I was gonna leave, so just so they still think of me, you know, while I'm gone.
Did you hear what Sid said about it when he was asked about it?
No.
He said, well, actually, I knew something was going on when, they told me to go outside and check out my car, and I didn't know what to expect. He goes, when I got out there and looked at it, he goes, I feel like I got off easy.
Yeah. And I agree too. I agree. It wasn't my best work, and I think the lack of time kind of made it hard. No times to put it in a tow truck and change car and buy. I don't know. I was thinking.
You've got time now, Marc-André. Like you can fly any time, man.
Wait. Yeah, you were thinking what?
I don't know. I had like some time. I was maybe gonna get. I don't know. I was just thinking, right? Like I was like, oh, maybe I should get some animals, like a little chicken or something, and put a bunch in a card, and the other guy put some frogs in it or something, you know, for a dang. And then I was thinking maybe just steal their car. I just put it on the wing, steal it, and then buy like a $400 car and just put it there, you know, instead. So then he's stuck with the old car for the whole weekend. But I don't know. I thought about, you know, sometimes you can like get those little farm that you can like rent for birthdays, right?
Yeah,
and then you can get like
goats and sheep and
donkeys, little llama and little donkey. Yeah. So I wanted to do some, you know, put at their house or just around their cars or whatever. But so again, a little bit of lack of time there.
All right. You don't
Yeah.
usually give away something you might do or thought about doing in the future. So we're going to file that away in case anything like this ever happens to
Maybe,
anybody.
yeah, because I owe like a couple guys in Mini. I gotta get back to, so
Oh.
I need to, yeah, I need to keep it a surprise a bit.
Yeah. Well, I know you got to go pick up the kids, and you've been very generous with your time. And I know that you want to keep talking, another hour or two.
Deep dive.
But thanks for coming on. It's your second appearance, and it hopefully not your last. And couple of months go by, you get bored. I figure I get a text from you saying, "Hey, I want to come on your podcast again. And let's just spend some time together, visit, and talk about life and retirement."
Yeah, I love talking about myself like this. I'll do this.
Or we can talk about the fans chanting "one more year" the entire third period. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I don't know. Very good. I don't know. Yeah, we'll keep that one silent. No comment for now.
All right. Thanks, Flower. Thanks for your
Very
time.
good.
This has been Agent Provocateur with Allan Walsh and Adam Wylde. Follow Allan Walsh on Twitter @WalshA. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts by searching Agent Provocateur and hitting the subscribe button. YouTube.com/SDPN.